His story opens with Sierra, a pampered, ultra-wealthy girl who never does anything herself. She's so accustomed to luxury that she hires someone solely to wake her up by phone. Living in her father's high-tech hotel, where everything runs on remote control, her room overlooks a stunning natural vista. While chatting with her equally spoiled boyfriend Tad on the phone, we learn her father arranged a job for her, but she refuses. Just then, her personal assistant enters with a glam team her father hired, carrying designer outfits from top global brands. After hanging up with Tad, a famous social media influencer with massive followings, Sierra learns his only job is creating content. He urges her to reject her father's offer and instead grow her own accounts. The moment Tad notices his Instagram engagement dip, he immediately ends the call to investigate. Meanwhile, we meet Jake, a hardworking man with strong moral values and a respectable job. He has an appointment with Sierra's father, hotel owner Mr. Belmont. Belmont tells Jake if he wants to speak, he must keep up. Jake follows but, out of respect, lets the older man win rather than seem competitive. Jake asks Belmont for financial help to save his small resort, on the brink of bankruptcy. He explains his resort teaches young skiers who later become pros at Belmont's luxury resort. He warns that if his place closes, it will eventually hurt Belmont's operation too. Belmont refuses and dismisses him. At that moment, Sierra descends the stairs to meet Tad. She wears a large hat and oversized sunglasses, details that matter later. She accidentally bumps into Jake, staining her expensive clothes. Upset, Sierra scolds him, but Jake apologizes and leaves. Later at lunch, Sierra introduces Tad to her father. Belmont questions Tad's online business, but Sierra corrects him. Tad's an influencer. Belmont disapproves but allows the relationship since he loves his daughter and doesn't want to upset her. Jake returns to his small hotel and meets his daughter and mother-in-law, who are heading to hang wishes on the Christmas tree. Jake refuses to join, unable to face the tree without his late wife. His deep love for her becomes clear. He asks his daughter to make a wish for him too. When his mother-in-law asks how the meeting with Belmont went, Jake admits it was their last chance, and they were rejected. Bankruptcy looms. She urges patience, prayer, and faith. At the luxurious Belmont Hotel, Mr. Belmont tells Sierra he'll travel for a week. While talking, Sierra picks up a gift he bought for her mother, surprising him since her mother died when Sierra was 5. He hugs her, saying he'll be back before she knows it. Soon after, Tad arrives in a fancy car towing a snowmobile. He takes Sierra for a mountain photo shoot. Sierra tells her assistant no one should disturb them, then leaves with Tad. Meanwhile, Jake works alone, unable to afford staff. He takes 2 guests from his small hotel on a short trip. Tad and Sierra reach their destination, unload the snowmobile, and ride into the snow. They wander into a dangerous area. When they arrive, Tad photographs Sierra, then suddenly pulls out a ring and proposes, but only to film content and boost his engagement. At the same time, Jake's daughter hangs her wish on the Christmas tree. A kind old man nearby performs a mysterious gesture. Suddenly, a storm strikes while Tad and Sierra remain on the mountain. Strong winds blow Sierra off the slope. Tad falls too. Sierra rolls down until her head strikes a tree. During his trip, Jake discovers what he thinks is a body in the snow, but it's an unconscious young woman. He carries her to the hospital. There, doctors reveal she's lost her memory, remembering nothing, not even her name. No identification is found. The officer tells her it'll be hard to locate family during the Christmas holidays. She must stay at the hospital until they end. Jake offers to take the unnamed girl to his hotel instead of letting her spend Christmas in the hospital. The doctor agrees, explaining daily activities may help her memory return. The girl accepts. Notably, Jake doesn't recognize her as Sierra. He met her earlier at her father's hotel, but she wore that big hat and sunglasses that hid her face. At Jake's small hotel, he gives her used clothes. For the first time, spoiled Sierra wears cheap, secondhand garments. Meanwhile, Tad gets lost in snowy woods until he stumbles upon a small cabin. Inside, a strange old man startles him, then invites him in for coffee. Tad nearly faints seeing worms crawling on the man's face. The man's name is Ralph. The next morning, Sierra wakes, opens the window, and sees ordinary people outside instead of her usual breathtaking view. She tries remembering her identity but fails. Jake's daughter enters and tells her she can't stay nameless. She suggests names from her teddy bears. Sierra picks Sarah. Later, Sarah goes downstairs with Jake's daughter and introduces herself. Jake invites her to breakfast. She insists on cooking. Every attempt fails. Jake smiles, tells her to sit with the little one, and finishes the meal. Sierra, who once ate caviar, now becomes Sarah, enjoying simple poor people's food, though even that would seem fancy to most. At the hotel, Sierra's assistant and security search for her. Finding her bed neatly made, the assistant knows Sierra didn't return, never make her own bed. Meanwhile, Tad remains lost in snowy woods with Ralph, who hands her and says, "Hunt your food or you'll die." Back at Jake's place, he tells his mother-in-law he cleans himself because he can't afford a housekeeper. Sarah enters, asking to do routine tasks to help her memory. She fails at housekeeping, organizing ski gear, cleaning, and laundry, spilling an entire container of detergent before walking away. Later, in Jake's daughter's room, Sarah helps the girl brush her hair. Suddenly, Sarah recalls the saying her mother used to tell her. Both get excited, it's her first real memory. But Jake discovers the laundry room in chaos, yells at Sarah, and she leaves upset. Outside by the horse, Sarah sadly says she fails at everything but might try gathering firewood. Jake overhears. While collecting wood, she trips and falls. Jake rushes to help. He suggests she join him and his daughter at the Christmas market. Sarah agrees, charmed by the place. She says she doesn't remember ever being there. Jake opens up, telling her his wife died long ago and they face financial trouble that might force them to sell the hotel. A wedding gift from his late wife's father, in her family for 3 generations. He loves the place deeply and can't bear losing it. Jake's daughter calls out. A kind old man shows Sarah a snow globe resembling the gift Mr. Belmont once bought for his wife. Jake buys it for her. They head to the town's Christmas celebration. The mayor gives a heartfelt speech, then fireworks begin. Returning to Jake's resort, Jake tells Sarah he thought she remembered something seeing the snow globe. She replies she remembered her mom, but it's still faint. As they rise, Sarah says she's sure they've never met. If she had, she'd remember someone like Jake. Jake looks at her with admiration. Sarah starts waking early, making her bed, and even becomes good at breakfast. She's clearly living happily with Jake's family. One day skiing, Sarah loses control. Jake rushes to save her. Another day, she enters Jake's mother-in-law's office, finding her flipping through the guest memory book. The older woman is sad about possible bankruptcy. She leaves the book with Sarah, telling her to return it later. When Sarah returns it, she finds a small Christmas ornament, a little bride meant for the tree. Jake enters. She asks why it isn't hung. He explains he and his wife bought it together, but after her death, he couldn't hang it again. He's heading to a toy drive charity event for underprivileged families. Touched by his kindness despite his struggles, Sarah decides to go. At the event, a woman wrapped in glowing Christmas lights tells Sarah Jake is one of the kindest people around. Without his help, their charity would have closed. He helps everyone and donates to countless organizations. Returning home, emotions run high. Love fills the air. Just as they're about to kiss, Jake pulls away gently, saying maybe they shouldn't. Sarah might already be engaged. Sarah goes upstairs, admiring his chivalry. The next morning, Sarah tells Jake's mother-in-law she has an idea to save the hotel. Contact past guests and ask for donations. Jake refuses outright. He's proud and won't accept charity. He says he can care for his wife's memory but won't let her take care of him. Sarah snaps, storms off. Jake stops her, starts explaining, then gives up and says, "You know what? I'll go." Later, his mother-in-law visits his office and gently tells him he's a good man. Shouldn't shut his heart off, should love again after his daughter, live his life, and that she forgives him. Sarah decides to leave, but Jake's daughter convinces her to stay, and she does. Jake finally hangs the little bride ornament on the Christmas tree, symbolizing he's ready to move on. They print invitations for a Christmas Eve party, meaning Jake agreed to Sarah's idea. In the forest, Tad remains with Ralph, who suggests starting a survival blog to become famous. Meanwhile, Mr. Belmont returns to his hotel, furious at his assistant for not knowing where Sierra is. He orders him to find her immediately and contact police. The officer later finds a note Tad left in the car of the man who saved him, signaling they'll soon be found. Sarah stands before the mirror, unsure what to wear to the party. All her clothes are secondhand. Her future mother-in-law enters smiling, giving her a beautiful dress as a gift. At the police station, Mr. Belmont sits when Tad walks in. Belmont immediately asks about his daughter. Tad explains they fell off the mountain and got separated. The officer overhears and confidently says he knows where she is. Back at the small hotel, Sarah comes down wearing the dress. Jake gazes at her admiringly. They dance in the small party space, warmth and quiet happiness filling the room. Suddenly, the mayor arrives, saying he's not alone. Former guests from Jake's hotel enter, many of them. Jake's family greets everyone. The party begins. After festivities and food, Jake takes the stage to welcome guests but looks shy and unsure, used to asking for help. One guest stands, saying he came years ago with his family. Jake taught his son to ski for free and offers a check. Another couple says they stayed there during their honeymoon when they couldn't afford it, and Jake took them in. Now they want to help. The mayor donates, and soon all guests offer support and donations. Joy flashes across Sarah's, Jake's mother-in-law's, and his daughter's faces. Overjoyed and moved, they smile. Jake introduces Sarah proudly as the woman who changed his life, beginning heartfelt words about her. Suddenly, their moment is interrupted by Tad and Mr. Belmont's arrival. When they call her Sierra, she suddenly remembers her real name. Tad tells her his name, reminds her of the engagement ring, and everything floods back. Every memory returns. She looks at Jake and says, "Yes, I fell off the mountain and you saved my life, Jake." Belmont thanks Jake deeply for rescuing his daughter. Sierra thanks him too before leaving with her father and Tad. Jake, his mother-in-law, his daughter, and even the narrator feel heartbroken. The emotional background song nearly brings tears. Sierra returns to her old life but can't stop thinking about moments with Jake. Every smile, every beautiful memory, every detail that made her fall in love. When her assistant enters, he's surprised Sierra made her own bed. When offered fancy clothes for her father's press conference, she says she'll wear something simple. Asked if she wants caviar for breakfast, she replies she'll make her own. She goes to the kitchen and cooks the same meal she learned from Jake and his family. Back at their house, Jake's family watches Sierra on TV at the press conference. On stage, Sierra thanks Jake and his family at the North Star Inn, saying they saved her and gave her shelter during recovery. She highly recommends their beautiful resort. Sierra's action becomes massive publicity for Jake's small inn, especially since she's the daughter of one of the world's richest men. The moment is interrupted by Tad announcing he'll travel with his fiancée Sierra. Jake looks heartbroken, but his daughter encourages him. She never made a Christmas wish for herself. She wished Jake would find love someone who cares for him the way he cares for them. She thought her wish came true seeing Jake and Sierra together. That's all Jake needs. Fired up, he rushes out to find Sierra before she leaves. At the hotel, Sierra apologizes to her father about the job offer, saying she'll work a real job, but not with him. Her father smiles, saying whatever makes her happy. Back at Jake's inn, his mother-in-law barely keeps up with non-stop phone calls. All guests wanting to book rooms thanks to Sierra's publicity. When Sierra meets Tad before their supposed trip, she says, "I'm sorry, Tad. I can't do this anymore. Here's your engagement ring. Find someone else." But Tad only cares if he can post about the breakup on social media to boost engagement. Instead of finding someone else, Tad ends up finding a man, not a woman. Jake finally arrives to find Sierra hasn't left. She tells him, "I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere." She asks what he's doing there. He replies his entire inn is fully booked because of her. She smiles, asking if he needs help with all that work. Jake agrees. She adds her father agreed to fund and renovate the whole resort, not just the inn. Mr. Belmont arrives with Jake's daughter. Everyone gathers, happy and united. The film ends on a warm, joyful note.